Dr. Subaki. So today our group will be presenting about our final project on error analysis. So our group members consist of Nadiatul Fatihah, which is me, Muhammad Nizul Hazman, Nur Ilya and also Zaini. So we have collected our sample on 18 October 2018 and we have collected all the samples in SMK King George B. Seremban. We have 10 samples, consists of 2 Chinese, 3 Indians and also 5 Malays. And they are required to write a 500-word descriptive essay about their most favourite teacher in school. So we have come up with major errors, 5 major errors, which are word omission with 81 cases, word choice 52 cases, tense 49 cases, spelling error with 21 cases, and lastly word form 16 cases. So for word omission is when there is an omission of word in a sentence. So here we found since I little. It's supposed to be since I was little. Second, attract students be interested. It's supposed to be attract students to be interested. And third, last one, she can be really playful and open around students, which open should be open-minded. So, explanation. The causes of this word omission. First is lack of understanding in grammatical items, which is function words. So they are not aware of grammatical items, so they just tend to omit the function words. Second, first language interference. English, as we all know, is timeline basis. So they have past, present and also future, but they tend to omit the timeline basis because they put in their first language, which is Malay or Tamil or Chinese.
So thank you to Nadiatul Fatihah. Next. Okay. So the second error made by the students is word choice error. Word choice error is a broad range of error from completely incorrect word use to connotation being off. So there are many types of word choice error. For example, misused words, word with unwanted connotation and meanings, awkward word choices, and words that are similar to each other but convey the wrong meaning. So these are the examples that we identified from the student sample. The first one is, she gave me a lot of infections. So here the students make awkward word choice. So the correct version of this error is, she gave me a lot of attention. So the second one is, guide me to the right road. So here road and path are similar to each other but they convey different meaning. So the correct version of this error is, guide me to the right path. So the last one is, to give me the last stitch. The correct version of this error is, to give me the last lesson. So here the students misuse the words. Maybe they are confused between the word teach and lesson. Next. Okay. So the students make word choice error probably because of they have poor vocabulary and confused with the meaning of different words, or they are known as homonym or homophone. Okay. This word choice error also because of the students' lack of connotation knowledge, which is the synonyms with different meaning. For example, good. The synonyms of good is excellent and superior, but excellent and superior have different meaning. For excellent, it means of the highest standard, but for superior is better than other. So the last one is they have lack of knowledge to distinguish between figurative and literal meaning. For example, teach and lesson.
Okay, thank you to Zaini. So next. Okay, so the next major errors that we found is the error in tenses. Okay, so these are the errors that we found from our analysis. So these are the examples. So for example, she teaches me in Form 1 and Form 2. it is supposed to be she taught me in Form 1 and Form 2 because this is a descriptive essay and they are describing past events. So this next, she gives me a lot of ideas. It's supposed to be she gave. And then lastly, when he enters the class, it should be when he entered the class because all of these are describing past events. Next. Okay, so this problem probably occur because there are negative transfer of native language knowledge with English language knowledge. For example, in Bahasa Melayu, there are no tenses system. So, for example, if they are describing a present event, they will just say saya pergi ke kedai. However, in the past tense sentence, it will still be saya pergi ke kedai semalam. The verb pergi is the same in the present and past sentences. However, in English, there are tenses. So the verb will be different in different tenses situation. So for example, if the present tense sentence is I go to school. Okay, so the verb go will be when in a past tense sentence. For example, I went to school yesterday. So the word is different. Okay, so next is it probably occur because less attention is paid by students. This is because they are used to language that don't have tenses system, so they probably mislook or they simply just don't remember about this tense system. And then it probably occur because there are time constraints because they were asked to produce this essay in 1 hour time, so there are lack of time, and then maybe they think that they are not graded for this task, so they just don't care about their grammatical mistakes.
Thank you so much to the previous presenter, Ilya. Alright, so I will be explaining about spelling error. Spelling error is one of the common errors done by the students in composing their English written essay. Spelling error often occurs due to some reasons, depending on the students themselves. Because this is due to different students might have different issues when dealing with English writing. Alright, next. Alright, so based on the student sample, there are a few factors that I have already spotted that contribute to spelling errors. The first factor that have contributed to spelling error is careless mistakes. Careless mistakes is where the students resist to double check their answer script. Even though the essay is completely done, but they resist to check again their answer script. Alright, this is where the students are overconfident. Overconfident by having a thought that their essay contains less spelling errors. So when the students are not checking their answer script, they will be having tendency to fall into this category of spelling error. Next, the second factor is insufficient time allocated for the students to get their essay done. This factor has caused the students to not have ample time as the students are writing their essay in a full rush. The students are rushing to get the essay done. Alright, so here some students may have problems in dealing with their time management to complete the essay that lead them to spelling errors too. For example, in their examination paper, for let's say they have section A and also section B. For let's say section A requires them to produce an essay within 35 minutes and section B, for let's say within 45 minutes. So sometimes students might not have a good time management on how to spend their time wisely to get the essay done within that time limit. That's why insufficient time is one of the factors that contribute to spelling errors as well. The last one is lack of English vocabularies. Lack of English vocabularies means some students in the class who are very weak in English language might have problems to spell certain words correctly. Alright, this is where This happens probably due to lack of basic knowledge in English, in which they don't have a good basic knowledge in English language, and then low English proficiency level. Okay, as you could see in a group of students in class, there will be different level of students. There are good students and also weak students. So weak students will be falling into this category. Okay, and then the last one is lack of exposure to English language. Okay, some students, they have lack of exposure to English language in terms of printed materials. They are not well surrounded with the English community. That had caused them to have lack of English vocabularies learned in their daily life. Okay, alright, these are the factors contributing to spelling errors. Next. Alright, okay, so as we could see here, these are the examples that I have spotted based on the student sample. Alright, so the first error, okay, he had as an extracurricular activity. Okay, what's wrong with this? So, the spelling here, it is supposedly be with double R, extracurricular, but this one is only one R. Okay, here, skip an appointment with him before the final exam. So what's wrong here is without E. So the correct spelling should be B-E-F-O-R-E, before. Okay, and then the last one, he is talkative and always makes funny jokes. Okay, what is talkative? Alright, we don't even understand what is talkative. So talkative, supposedly it should be spelled T-A-L-K-A-T-I-V-E. So talkative. He is talkative and always makes funny jokes. Alright.
Thank you, Hazman. So moving on to the last major errors that we found, which is word form. Okay, so word form error occur when students use the wrong part of speech in the wrong context. So these are the example. Number one, be confident in solving every problems. The student use confidence, which is noun, when they were supposed to use confident, which is adjective. And then the second example is, although it was simply an essay, so simply is actually adverb when it is supposed to be an adjective because it's describing the essay, although it was a simple essay. And then the third example is, I was relieved, which is a noun, but it was supposed to be I was relieved, which is adjective, describing the feelings. Okay, so next. Okay, so word form error probably occur because students have lack of knowledge regarding part of speech. Because in English there are part of speech which is adverbs, verbs, noun, pronouns. They only and then moving on, they probably have low vocabulary knowledge, so they probably only know the root version of the words. So for example, for polite, they only know the word polite, but they don't know that it can be politely or politeness. Okay, so for the remedy, so the first remedy is focusing on the word form. So so actually teachers have to teach about part of speech to students because from my own experience, my previous teachers, they don't really focus on the parts of speech. They only focus on tenses, so I don't really know about part of speech. And then teachers actually have to expose students to the fact that different suffix can cause the meaning of words to change. Okay, so because in English there are suffix like li or ed, all of these suffixes can change the meaning of a word. And then so in a teaching session, every time students encounter new vocabulary, what teachers should do is that ask the students to find the meaning in the dictionary, and then but not only finding the meaning, but they also have to find out this part of speech which is usually in the vocabulary. So ask them to find out the part of speech and also other words from the same root but different suffixes. So these words usually have different meanings. So for example, we have confident. Confident is the root word, and then confident is an adjective. And then if we add different suffix here, we add ens, it will become a noun. And if we add suffix li, the word confident will become an adverb, which is confidently. So that's all for remedy number 1.
Alright, so moving on to the second remedy, which is focusing on spelling. Okay, so as a remedy for this one, okay, the student themselves, they should listen to English songs using the printed lyrics in hand. Okay, in which when they listen to the songs and they have the lyrics in their hand, so that they can, while listening to the song, they can look at the lyric and they could circle the new vocabularies learned that they don't even know what's the meaning of that words. Okay, alright, then when they have already spotted or identified a few new vocabularies, so then they can also use English dictionary to find or to explore what is the meaning of the words and also the correct spelling of the English vocabularies, okay, to improve their knowledge and also to improve their English vocabularies. Okay, start in mind. Okay, next, the last one is the last one is so the last one is peer sharing session. Okay, peer sharing session is where the students have to share any new vocabularies that they have already spotted or identified in the lyrics of the song, and they have to find another partner for them to share the new vocabularies that they have already learned. Okay, this actually would help the learners to increase and also to not to put a big gap in their English vocabularies. Okay, so while sharing, we can actually improve ourselves. Also, we could also improve our friends' knowledge as well. Alright.
So thank you to Hazman. Next, third remedy, which we are focusing on the word choice itself. So as said by Zaini earlier, the students are not really aware of the literal meaning and figurative meaning, as well as they are not really knowledgeable in terms of part of speech. So I suggest that we as teachers should enrich their vocabulary by providing visual flashcards consisting new vocabulary, homonym or homophone, because these are the most confusing to the students. So as you can see here, hear versus listen. So with the visuals here and also the examples and comparison examples here, so students can be more aware and they can comprehend different words and different vocabulary in English.
So thank you to Nadia. So the last remedy will be focusing on word choice error. So the first activity is highlighting vocabulary words, where the teacher asks the students to highlight unfamiliar words that they found in articles or any reading comprehension text. So this activity is quite effective because the more repeated exposure students have to the new words, the more likely they will be to define, comprehend and memorize the words. The second activity is fill in the blanks definition. So in this activity, teacher asks the students to draw 3 columns and insert new words they have identified. Then in column 2 and 3, the students write synonyms of the words that have different meaning. For example, good. So the synonyms for good is excellent and superior, but both excellent and superior have different meaning. So this activity is to avoid connotation errors.
Alright, so that's the end of our group presentation. Thank you so much to Dr. Subakir. Okay, so I really hope that all the remedies presented just now could be useful for all future teachers and also teachers out there in school. Thank you so much.